Denise?
What do you think?
Instead of should, it can
It can what?
be. Instead of it should be, it can be.
It can be. So guess
That's
what?
this stuff.
Have you guys ever visited a food forest? Who here's visited a food forest besides Moshe? And you?
You guys have had versions of it.
You've
Smaller.
had versions of food forests, huh?
Couple
Okay.
years in.
What did you tell that was different when you went inside a food forest?
There was lots of plants.
Lots of plants and trees, right? Did it feel as hot as it does out here? Because I just came out from my little Garden of Eden in here, and I was like, oh man, it's hot out there. I forgot, because I'm inside there. Now, what I want you guys to
Doesn't
see,
feel very supportive.
it really
It's still
doesn't.
threatening.
It really doesn't. Okay, so here we are. What temperature do you see right there? This would be 100, 90. What's the red line go to?
30,
Oh, on that side, centigrade, yes, it's 30 something, but on this side,
80.
90. See the
Yeah,
80s
90.
here? Exactly. So that would be 90 degrees. It is today out here. Okay? Now the sun's not as bright as it normally would be because we've got this weird haze. And I looked at it today and I was like, man, you'd think we were living in LA or something with that inversion pollution over there. I don't know what it is, you guys.
St. Pete doesn't get it.
San Pete County is a little bit better, aren't they?
The air's
The air's a lot cleaner. So, do you guys mind? I'm going to ask the parents if it's okay if I film. And the kids are okay. It's just for my school. It's for people to learn. Other kids to learn. Do you guys want other kids to learn about nature? Yeah? How about you guys?
Yeah.
Do you guys know TikTok?
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard it got banned.
No.
What?
They're just trying to stop it for some reason. And there's a lot of bad stuff, but there's bad stuff everywhere, right? But I have really good stuff because I film my bees, my pretty flowers when the bumblebees are on there. I film all of nature, and it's called Nature Protector 1. That's my TikTok channel. And every day I've committed to show young people that look at TikTok to learn something interesting about nature. We had this blue-tailed lizard in here one time, and I got more hits on that one than anything. We've had all sorts of insects and praying mantises and interesting birds.
Not common and used to be common
Yes,
and necessary.
yes, absolutely,
birds.
Moshe. He's the teacher, okay? I'm just the kid.
making notes.
I'm just the kid. I'm just the observer. That's why I call myself Nature Protector 1.
I was talking to
And
Ricky
on-
last night.
Uh-huh.
Why we love Jeff so much. I'm
Yes.
like, when Jeff is like Jeff Lawton, the guy I learned from,
Our
when
teacher.
he's truly in his power, he is in the most childlike, playful state of working with this. But he's the hardest worker I've ever met. He's dyslexic, but he's probably one of the smartest like wizards
He does so well.
on the planet because
Yeah.
he's just
He,
the
when,
kid part's
when I took his course, it's been 7 years now, you know. When I took Jeff Lawton's course, and I took it on videos, okay, I told myself, boy, I hope when I'm at the point where he's at, that I can say exactly the same things he does. I want to know as much as he does. I want to be able to talk like him. I sure hope that I can do that. Because the man is brilliant. And I keep watching, and I keep learning, and I keep learning from him because he just knows everything. And I love that you said that he's childlike. Because John Kohler came here. He's the host of Grow Your Greens, teaching people how to grow all their vegetables and everything. But he goes around the world, and he films, including food forests, other people's gardens, everywhere. And he came here to film here, and he panned this street over there, typical suburbia America, right? Lawns, hot. Is anybody outside? No, it's too hot. But in here, you can go outside. So then he pans this, and he says, see what this woman does here? Other people might think it's a little messy, but this is what everyone should do in America instead of lawns wasting water. So he said all this. And then he comes over here after I took him around for 15 minutes and I had to run off to church. And he says on the video, which I didn't get to see for 2 weeks, you know, for an elder, I'm an elder lady, okay, for him even, for an elder, she sure is like a child. She has this love of nature, and she's just like a child. I just thought that was the best compliment anybody ever gave me, that I got compared to a child. That's the best compliment anybody could ever give me, you guys. Totally. To be compared to you? Oh my gosh. Because I lost a lot of that along the way, you know? You guys are pure. You love your imagination. You love to find out new things, don't you? Try new things. Isn't that the funnest? That's called being a child. And if we can do that and constantly be open to learn new things, you know, do you want to see where I invite the monarch butterflies to come here? It's outside because it's really hot and I don't water it. Because these are plants in Utah that don't need any water. Do you want to see it? Come follow me, you guys. We'll start the tour over here. And I was trying to protect this poor little flower from drying up in the hot sun after we transplant it, but it didn't work. So see all this? See this beautiful jungle? Those are all milkweed all the way back there, surrounded by sunflowers. And the sunflowers plant themselves where they want, and they came and volunteered. And all those milkweed, I did not plant one single seed.
Do you guys know Gabriel needs this one? Well, and all you
So I've got a present for you guys. That's all milkweed, and those are their seed pods that fly away everywhere. Let's look over here and see if we can see some seed pods that are ready to fly. See, I spread some out because I've got an empty spot here, so now I spread some seeds out in there. See, they're pretty seeds. They just fly away like that. That's how nature does it. It takes these little guys and it flies away. Look, look, look. Woo! This is how we save the world, save the planet. Woo! Isn't that beautiful? That's the most beautiful thing in the world, you guys. That's how nature spreads the love. Because it wants to make sure that everybody's growing all these beautiful milkweed. I filmed 5 monarch butterflies. One at a time they come. I wish there were thousands of them. But one comes and it dances around all the milkweed, and I'll show you in the garden as well, of course. And it just dances around me while I'm filming them. It's so fun, you guys. I just love it. I just love milkweed. And none of these plants, except for that cherry tree, need any water. That's what's so beautiful about this, is they just grow naturally in Utah, even in this heat without any water. If I water them, they don't do so good. So that's what's beautiful about these kind of plants, huh? But the most important one, that's why I'm going to give Moshe and Ricky some of my pods. And I want you to make sure strategically put them in important places where they'll grow more milkweed, okay? Maybe
question.
someday.
I like to ask
Yes.
design, and it's not like doomsday. Is what if we turn off everything? We turn off the water, we turn off the utilities.
Yeah, what's going to
and then
live?
even turn off the people. What happens to the landscape? And it can and should get better.
It does.
And we can come in and just interact, like you can just drop someone off at a food court and say, I can survive.
I could survive in
Make it
here.
better.
You could survive up the canyon. There's food, there's berries of all kinds, there's herbs of all kinds. If you get a cut or something like that, you just have to know which ones. You just have to learn about the plants. And the great creator, he designed all this. He's the master designer, right? Jeff Lawton and Moshe and I and others, we're just students of his great work. But he designed it all. And everything says that he's so brilliant. Everything. Everything's so perfectly designed. You look at every little flower and you're like, wow, I don't know if I could ever design something like this myself, but I sure would love to learn how.
We can see it. We can remember all the patterns. There's not that many.
There's so many. It's so
Well, there's
beautiful.
so many, right, Denise? But
There's
only,
variations of them, but there's
Yeah.
only a few patterns.
Correct.
And did you guys hear your dad say that they all follow these mathematical geometry formulas?
Fibonacci sequence. Yep.
Yes, that's
a
one of them.
huge one. Huge one.
Isn't that amazing though, that they all mathematically, in the leaf, in the flower, in the petals, in our veins, everywhere, they follow all these patterns. And he designed all this. He's brilliant. But you know what? Whether you're religious or not, you'll laugh at this, okay? You know who we are? We're baby, I'm not going to say his name, creators in diapers. I knew you'd laugh at that. We are. We're baby creators in diapers. We're just in training. But we can someday be like that, okay? So that's, we are baby creators. I knew you would like that, sweetheart. Isn't it fun, though, to think that way? That someday we all
Did these flowers?
can do this.
Are there big flowers on these or no?
Oh, the biggest, beautiful white flowers that smell like heaven that you just keep going back and take a deep breath, and they're
When do the
so
monarchs
beautiful.
come to them
Well,
mostly?
they come
What's their
when it
season?
starts to bloom around end of June, July. But I had a monarch come about a week ago, and he was
so they
late.
bloomed and gone to seed.
Yes.
And then these will
So now
explode.
they've gone to all these
And
little
one
pods.
bloom season, one time.
Yes, one bloom is all I get every year. And see, they're about to send out They're beautiful. Watch. They'll go all over the
Yeah,
place.
I would love
Woo!
to distribute some pods to people.
Yes.
Places.
Let's do that, okay, you guys? But isn't that beautiful?
Can you eat them?
That's nature.
No, that's just, that is
It has. It's a good question though, sweetie. It has a medicinal purpose. I don't want to hurt one right now, but if you break a leaf or a stem, there's a white milk. That's why they call it milkweed. And that milk is actually, if you get a cut, it'll keep it from getting infected.
Would a wild lettuce be similar, or is this
Do
much
they have
better?
the white milk?
Yeah.
Maybe. Tasha's never told me. I learned all this from my master herbalist at Dr. Christopher School, Tasha Nelson. She works and trains all the wellness counselors at all the good earths. She teaches me all this stuff, you guys. I better turn off my hose.
That's one, Denise. I have to go through patterns, even that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's too complicated to keep up. For the patterns and like the layers and levels, they seem to guide it all.
Okay, hold tight. Stay right there. I'm going to turn off this hose so we don't waste any water. I never want to waste water, you guys. Okay. So we're going to turn that one off. And then I'll water my flowers later. Did you guys see those flowers? This year, for the first time, instead of getting flowers from other people and digging them out and transplanting them, which is a cheap way to get flowers, right? All these right here, I get from other people. But you see these beauties right here? I planted them from seeds. I was so excited. I grew these from seeds in the spring. And so these beautiful babies, these are the ones I'm going to save seeds from. These gorgeous, kind of rust-colored sunflowers, I planted from seed. And look how big they got. I never thought they would get that big. I thought they'd be like this big.
Step on that. Finger will go right in your foot.
What is it, my little bee? Oh,
Yeah,
she's...
Gabriel wanted to go barefoot. I'm just saying. So
Yeah, it's better not to, sweetheart. And this is my favorite bumblebee that has orange on it.
that'll hurt.
But see how it's hopping? So that worries me. So whenever a little bee is hopping like that, it's either injured and it won't be able to get away. So I make sure to put her back on a plant. See how she's hopping? So I want to make sure she doesn't get stepped on. She's one of my honeybees because they're really little cornelian bees. All right, sweetheart, don't go out here, okay? Don't go out here. Come on. I don't want them to get hurt. So you guys watch when we walk by. Aren't they cute? But you should see right here. This is what's beautiful. When you have wild plants. So yes, I have pretty colored flowers, but do you know what I prefer? It's not that busy of a day, but if we sit still, everybody watch. I want you to count how many different kinds of bees, including that miniature, did you see that little tiny one right there? Flying. They're just tiny, tiny. I want you to count how many different bees can you count on this mint right here. This is their favorite spot with all these flowers of mint. And I prefer growing these in the front yard instead of the flowers, but...
What are these long dudes with the striped yellow and black?
Aren't they cute? They're a tiny, tiny wasp. There are so many different kinds of bees in here, you guys, and wasps.
Cool.
It's amazing. It's amazing how many come here every single year. Go see.
Why are they important?
And they won't hurt you. What's that?
Why are they important?
So the bees, you guys, why are they important? Do we know? I know you guys know this.
Pollinate?
I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm guessing they probably do.
They will. It just happens, right? We
Yeah.
pollinate, but they're doing it.
They're doing
much
it
better.
by flying from flower to flower, of course. But they're not like making honey. So they all do different things. And if we study each one, and supposedly, I think in Utah there's supposed to be over 380 different kinds of native bees in Utah. So I'm hoping someday that I can count. At least 100 are coming here. Because my neighbor was here when I did my open house when your dad came, you know, in the morning, and I had the nursery owner of Cook's Nursery come too. And then my neighbor over there, Chad, he was sitting here like this. Oh my gosh, there are so many bees in here. Oh my gosh, look at these little tiny ones. He was like a little kid. He was so excited to just sit here and count how many kinds of bees were in here. And I just sit here and water and they just fly all around me. But isn't it amazing how many little bees? Different kinds. There's even smaller than that. And so many like this. Just different, so many bees. And I get so excited. Look at those little guys. I love the miniature, tiniest
Can I say a
ones.
phrase, Denise, that
Yes.
helps me remember this lesson is diversity leads to stability.
Yep.
So diverse bees, we're gonna have more stable.
So
bee
what does that
activity.
mean, diverse,
Honey.
though? You guys understand what that means? That means more kinds, which I get excited. The more bees I
Different,
see,
many
and more
kinds.
different kinds of birds, the more kinds of them, the more excited we get.
And planned diversity, because we know a lot of things, we can intentionally do it. So we can diversify
Well,
intentionally to some degree and get
some.
stability.
But I can't take credit, you guys.
No credit. Just
See these
design.
guys? These mints? I didn't plant them here. Just like those milkweed, I didn't plant them over there, so it's not me. It's actually because they were growing in there where I thought they'd like it. And they told me, guess what, lady? Nature doesn't like to grow in there. It wants to come out here. It wants to say hi to everybody and go, look at us. Isn't that funny? So that's why I grew all out here. And then I
And
dig
most
them
of
out
mints,
and I
right?
put them back in. Yeah, I put them back in the
At
forest.
edge.
And every year it comes back.
That's a good
Including,
part, too.
you guys want to
Very
smell this amazing mint? This is an amazing mint. Everybody, pass it around, smell it. Rub it, and smell that. Okay? You want to try one? Let's get you one. Just smell this. Isn't it amazing? It smells so good, you guys. This one is spearmint, so smell that. But everybody thinks this is a chocolate mint, but it's got kind of a, what would you say? Like a basil smell to it. Almost like a basil. Did you smell one? Okay. Doesn't it smell like a basil?
Did you put this vetch? Is this hairy vetch? Or
So
different?
hairy vetch somehow ended up in here too.
That's a
I
great
planted
one.
it in there and it showed up out here.
Those
And when that
seeds,
house wasn't there a
they
year ago,
shoot. I've seen them.
yeah.
They're pods. They twist.
Yes, they twist
and
and,
go
spit out all the seeds, and you'll hear them. You'll be walking
They're
around the
like
forest,
size of
and then
bees.
all of a sudden you hear,
I've
blip,
heard of those.
and you're like,
Yeah.
what was
They're
that?
so
And then you
cool.
look, and they pop their seeds out. It's really funny.
That's
It makes
the
noise.
vetch.
Your forest
So
makes
it's-
noise.
that's
It
a
talks to
nitrogen
you.
Fixer, and that's
But you know what,
mulch in
Moshe?
place.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have all
Drop
this
and drop,
alfalfa.
you can-
I love the alfalfa. In fact,
Oh, this is alfalfa.
you guys,
Here?
this is alfalfa. Yes.
Oh.
So you guys,
That's. So
I
see
need
the difference?
I need a
Where's the
whole
vetch?
bunch of hands who want to come one of these days, and we're gonna pick all the seeds of alfalfa. Okay? We got to pick these buddies. Okay? These are all the seeds of
big?
alfalfa. See
Where's
right
the
here?
seed?
Here's the seed. This is a better one.
Yeah,
There's
but
the
if you
seed.
break
They're
it
kind of
down,
round.
These guys,
Yep, those are the
the
seeds.
twisty.
These little round guys. Those are seeds, okay? So I need help because I have so much alfalfa. I can't collect all these seeds and I don't want them to go to waste. They'll reseed themselves and they come back every year, but it would be nice to pick
How-
all the seeds.
Curious, personally.
Yes.
Because I've harvested nitrogen fixing seeds like this, very rough,
Yes,
because I want to use them fast.
yes.
So not too
Didn't
much
you say
separation,
these,
but like pulling the
Good
plant.
to eat?
They will as soon as they're ripe, and they're right there so that everybody that walks by in my neighborhood, just like they were picking on my wild blackberries,
How do you know when
they're
they're
going to
ripe?
pick them. Oh, they will be almost soft. You'll see them. They'll get big and they'll be almost soft. Sorry, I have people that drop trash and I just leave it there because it's like they need to learn. Please don't do that. But isn't that beautiful? I invite everybody to come and pick food. So one of my neighbors and his mother, they just lost their mom, his wife. And they have 5 beautiful, really blonde children, just as gorgeous as their mother was. And they've been walking by, and I know the dad is sad. And so guess what? And so are the kids. So I told them, whenever you walk by here, because they like to walk by all the time, I want you to pick as many wild blackberries as you can. And the other day they came by and I said, how are you guys doing? Are you going to come and tour the forest? And they're like, oh yes, the kids are so excited to come tour the food forest. And then they said, by the way, we've been picking your blackberries. And I said,
blackberries
oh
right
yay. Yeah, we're going to see them inside. They've dried out here. But you
found
see,
some by a
see these
stream.
thorny blackberries growing on the outside all through here, you guys? Do you see all those thorny, scary dudes? And whenever they come like this, I got to carefully put them back along the fence so they don't plant themselves. Because if they come down, boom, they'll root.
But Ian, I was telling you earlier, those are also easy to let that happen to propagate elsewhere. So you can
Yes.
get some from somebody
It's
else
so
to
easy.
fast track yours.
See this?
Like literally lay that down on the ground.
If you want to take them, I have a bunch of branches I just cut
But
down. If you want, if you have a
Fence
place to
line?
put them,
if you
I
have
just
more
put them in
security
water.
Area, it's
This
gonna
is-
be more secure.
Guess what I call it, Moshe?
Hmm.
It's called my natural barbed wire to keep everybody out. But I have a sad story. I always learned the hard way. So I put the thorny blackberries along the bamboo, and the other morning at 11 a.m., I can't believe, because for 6 years they were always terrified to come in here during the day, but the deer would come in at night. 11 o'clock in the morning, it's bright daylight, and I come around my apricot tree. Whoa! This thing just jumps out at me, and it ran, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was a big old deer. That was a mother deer. And I was like, what are you doing in here in the middle of the day? You're supposed to be scared. I guess I'm attracting them too much. She was chomping on all my comfrey.
Oh,
She was loving my comfrey. You'll see her
that'll
teeth
last
marks.
so long
You guys
for
will
her.
see what she left of my comfrey leaves, okay?
Are these carrots?
They look like carrots. They're in the family. It's called a Queen Anne's lace. So the way you tell is when the flowers are white, now they're dried, you look in the middle and you'll see a purple dot. That means it's not carrot, it's Queen Anne's lace.
Purple dots where? Are these
Right
carrots?
in the middle, right down here will be a purple dot. So there's no carrots underneath. They look like carrots.
How much
Those
of
are
these do you want
baby
me to
Queen Anne's lace.
Can you eat them?
I don't think so. I've been told don't eat those. But it looks like it, doesn't it? It looks like it's in the
Are
thing.
these peaches?
They are. They're baby peaches that for some reason don't get any bigger than that. We haven't figured out why, even though I thinned them out. But what was I going to tell you? What was I talking about?
Deer.
The deer. Thank you, sweetheart. Tell me your name.
Eve.
Eve. Oh, what a beautiful name. We're going in the Garden of Eden. You know that. That's where Eve lived. So listen to this. My dear friend, you guys, jumps out, starts running. And I'm like, she's not going to get out because this is all I have all around where she is. I'm like, how's she going to get out, you guys? She'll never get out. Because guess what? She would scratch herself if she went through all this, right, you guys?
Dried blueberries.
If that deer jumped through all this, she would scratch herself. So I was so scared. And all of a sudden I hear through the bamboo. Somehow she got between the bamboo. There's a spot open. And there were some thorny branches there. And I'm like, oh, please don't get scratched. I hope she didn't get scratched,
so
you guys.
tough, though.
That poor little deer. She was so scared.
so
And that's a
tough.
scrub
Tastes like
bluebird over there being loud. But isn't it pretty to see all this stuff? And look at this. Do you know what color bumblebees like? Guess what color all the kinds of bumblebees like? Unlike the other bees, bumblebees like purple. So you'll see my little orange bumblebees. You'll see these bumblebees. They're all over my purple flowers. It doesn't matter if it's a comfrey flower,
Honey from them?
anise hyssop. Nope. They usually live inside my siding of my house. Smell that one. This is native to Utah. I mean, it grows in the mountains of Utah. Okay, sweetheart? This grows in the mountains of Utah. Okay, it's called anise hyssop. These grow in the mountains. And so it grows so easily,
Dripping down.
and it doesn't need that much water.
Why is water dripping down?
What's that?
Which one's an East
So this is the anise hyssop right here. Smell it.
Is it like a catnip? Are they
It
totally...
is in the mint family. They're all in the mint family, but it's its own breed.
Do you live off the food that you grow here?
Everybody asks me that, but this is more to teach people. And so I have to show everything, so I don't pick a lot of stuff because I want people to come and see it, so you guys get to see it all, right? At different times.
Why is there a bunch of water dripping?
Because right now, I forgot to water for a month along the fence here, and so I'm watering. Yes, you may. Taste it and see if it's
That's a
right.
good hiding
How are you
spot.
doing
Isn't
it?
it cute? I know. Isn't it cute to see grapes coming through?
That's
How
my
are you
harvest
doing
berries
it?
that go upside down.
So there's a sprinkler on the other side. We'll see it when we get to the top of the garden, okay? There's a sprinkler over there. But you know what? Whenever people are giving away their plants, they want me to come and dig it out. So see this beautiful hibiscus with the pretty red inside? This guy did not want this bush. It was almost this big. So we went and dug it out and put it here. That's what we do. We rescue trees and plants and put them in here. Moshe, I'm going to show you because I just picked our hawthorn berries. This is a volunteer bush that came about 8 years ago. Look at the shape of the berries, but they haven't gone black.
Can you reach in, bud?
Here. Here, sweetheart.
The bumblebees are nice.
Guess who else loves to suck the juice out of there? The wasp. They suck all the juice and all you see is the skin left. They love to take all the juice. You want some, sweetie?
So that's a hawthorn,
You
and they'll
bet.
turn what color?
So the hawthorn are supposed to turn dark, and I've already picked the hawthorns
You
in
don't
there.
know what heart medicine?
It's heart
But
medicine.
specifically what chemical
So it helps.
or...
No, Tasha knows that. So if you watch her video
Just need to look it up.
on my Facebook group, she explains everything about everything that's in here. I put it on a video on my Facebook group.
Okay.
Just put Tasha Nelson, okay? And you'll see a herb walk. But I don't know where this volunteer came from. And it's got the same shaped leaf. And it's got the same shape, because she calls it a nature signature. And it looks like little human hearts. And it's the same cluster,
part?
just like the other one. The berries. The berries look like little human hearts, like a pumping little heart. Hearts don't look like this. They look like a pumping little heart.
Like an actual heart.
Yes, isn't that weird?
With the valves or
So
what
I don't
the-
understand. This is a volunteer. This is not. It's got the thorns.
So it's good for the
It's got the
heart.
berries.
Hawthorn.
I didn't plant it. This was a long time ago it came. And I can't figure out why it looks like a hawthorn so much. But it hasn't turned dark yet. That's what I'm waiting to see. Isn't that amazing though, you guys? And this is another nitrogen fixer. It's called indigo lead plant. False indigo lead plant is what they call that one. And see this beautiful chokecherry? Moshe, every year this is loaded in sweet smelling flowers and the birds eat all the flowers. I have yet to get any chokecherries on this guy.
Purple grapes.
Yes, there's some purple grapes and there's some really fat, beautiful blackberries right there, the thorny wild
grab
ones.
one?
Nope, 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 nope.
Oh, okay.
We have to wait. We have to leave a few for the neighbors to look at, but I'm going to give you some inside, okay? And then this was a female
Yeah,
sea
the
berry
demonstration is a big thing, guys.
Yeah.
That
to
I
show
think
everybody.
is good to really
Because just think, if I ate everything in
cross
here,
into right now.
Yeah.
and then people come along and go, what do you mean you grow berries? I don't see any
But
berries.
honestly, if you were living off it, if you were,
Oh, you'd be so
it can be
healthy.
something
So
that
how
you would be
much of this
harvesting
stuff
when
did
they're
you
ready.
plant, and how
All
much
of
of it just?
So I would say 90% I probably planted myself on purpose. I collected and everything.
No, it's
But
junk.
there's probably 10% that I'm like, where did you come from? What are you?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me more about yourself.
And now they will continue to grow themselves. They'll
They
maintain
will.
now because
They'll
they've filled
continue
in
to
all
grow
the
and grow.
gaps.
And see, my friend Grant, who's an 89-year-old farmer, he has these that are native to Utah. It's called a gaillardia or blanket flower. So I dig them out and I bring them here and I water them and I keep them alive. So that's going to be that beautiful flower soon. I collect plants for my neighbors, my friends, everybody. Everybody that loves plants, I just collect them. It's so much fun, you guys. But doesn't the water make you feel better right here? Feel the coolness? And we're in the shade. That's what's so wonderful. And see that big one there? That's a hibiscus too. I transplanted it when it was
Pretty sure
40,
you can eat the leaves.
40 years old. Yay! That's wonderful. You guys, if we ever go hungry, yeah, we'll have to eat all this.
Hibiscus leaves.
But this
Pretty
was
sure they're-
40 years old, Moshe. And I transplanted it at 40 years old. And it has survived 5 years. Oh, you want another grape, sweetie? We got
We're gonna
tons.
snack on stuff
We're
inside
going to
too.
bring out so many kinds of grapes and berries and everything for you guys to taste, okay? I'll bring them out. And this is another fun one. Who knows what this is?
We had these at the park
Wild-
by us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tea out of it.
So it's a
Wild rose.
It's a rose bush, right? But what's wonderful about this kind of rose is it turns red, and these are rose hips.
Yeah. I
Guess
made
what
tea out of
this
them.
is? Yes. And do you know what this is really good? High in vitamin C.
Literally replaces your vitamin C pills if you
Yep.
put these in teas.
And so we wait until
Yeah,
they turn
were
really
at
red,
this park by
and
my
then we're
house,
going to
and I
pick
took
them.
and make tea
This
from
is
them.
how red they get. So I left some from last year. They're super hard, though. You don't want to eat them. I left those just to show
Can
people.
you eat them, or is it just for like teas? And
Well,
stuff?
I've bitten into a rose hip, and I thought it was delicious.
I've found at
But
the
that's
right
how
time,
red
you
they'll
can
get.
find really sweet ones.
Yeah,
Other
I'm
times
sure
they're
you
not
can.
very great.
No, I know. That goes with your berries as well. Sometimes they're really tasty, and sometimes they're like, oh, okay. Oh, look what my
But
Black
neighbors did to their trees. See, I
tea, I would
just,
say,
I just see that and I
totally
get
dried
sad.
out.
Did
Like
you
put
get
in a jar
sad?
and
What did
keep
they
as an
do?
herb on the shelf for
Look,
years.
they cut off all those branches.
Oh,
She got sad just like I do. What's your name, sweetheart?
Leah.
Leah. I know. And especially when they cut a tree down, it breaks my heart. I can't stand it. You know, it's like if I see a little puppy get hurt, well, if I see a tree get hurt, I get really sad. I get really upset. It's like, no, no. I'd probably stand in front of a tree and stop them from cutting it down, you know? Because I love nature. It's beautiful, isn't it?
No.
So I'm protecting
Is that echinacea? or no?
Rudbeckia. So this red one here
No, in the pot.
Yellow.
in the pot is called Rudbeckia.
Rudbeckia.
Yeah, I'll show you echinacea coneflower. Now we think though, and I asked my nursery buddy, I said, Ryan, they look like coneflower. Could they be in the coneflower family? Because look, that looks like a coneflower, doesn't it?
Same
I know.
shape, same
That's what I thought too. Are they related? I don't know. I'm always asking questions like that, you know, is it fun? Do you know what else is a nitrogen fixer? Honeysuckle.
What?
Yes, I found out it's a nitrogen fixer.
Really?
I had no idea.
That's awesome.
So I started throwing a bunch of honeysuckle all around the fence, you know.
So
Oh,
pretty.
watch out, that bad boy there wants to grow down. So I'm going to have to come back with my gloves. See how they're all growing everywhere? I just got to make sure that... Oh, here's another bad boy. Look at this bad boy. I just got to make sure they stay along the fence and don't grow down. Hello, my little chickadees. See, I just put it along the fence so it doesn't plant itself where it's not supposed to go, right? Isn't it fun, you guys? Listen. Did you hear my little friend? Did you hear him? We'll hear a bunch inside. Sometimes you hear a quail because they like to hang out in there. They come and they cross across the street with their little families, and all of a sudden you'll see them. They know where they're going. They just fly into the forest. It's hilarious. One year, last summer, there was like 40 of them in there, and then I walked in and woof, they all just flew over. I was like, hello. Tons of quail. I love the quail. They're so beautiful. So not in this. Not in this.
I'm saying later for the kids.
Oh, okay. You can't light a fire in here.
No, I'll have a fire later tonight with the kids.
Okay. All right, you guys. So now we're going to go inside the real forest part. Now, you can look at these because they are my little art piece when you first come in. Everybody gets to look at some food when they first walk in here. And that gives them an idea that, oh my goodness, look at this. This is what nature does. It likes to grow. I can train it up the bamboo. I can train it to go anywhere I want. Isn't that wonderful? Just like the grapevines are growing here. And this year, because of the heat, we didn't get any of the purple grapes. We had Concord grapes there, but we did get the white Himrub grapes right there. Because usually I'll have purple grapes hanging here, white grapes hanging there. Isn't that fun? And I like flowers as well. And I do have, I know at least one goldfish left in there because I keep seeing him. And there's my little baby orange goldfish. There's a baby orange goldfish down in there, you guys. He's just swimming around back in there. There he is. Look, look. There's a little orange baby goldfish down there. Hello, baby. Come over here. Come over here and look down in there. Come over here and look way down there. See right here? He's swimming around right there. He comes around now. He's not afraid. The one in there, she's much bigger. I used to have 6, but I think that my garter snakes have been eating my fish. I'm like, oh no, don't eat my fish. Eat the mice, but not my fish. And see, all this is water plants, and they're edible, and they clean your water. That's what's beautiful. And we're just about to get our second set of golden hibiscus flowers from Hawaii. He's about to bloom the second time this year.
Sorry, what did you say these shiny ones are in the pond?
So those are the water hyacinth, and they'll have a different kind of purple flower than that, and they clean your water. And they're edible too. You have water celery, you have water hawthorn, you have water...
Water celery. You ever done it?
Yeah.
Is it cool?
It was in here.
Harvest?
It was in here.
What's the difference between normal celery and water celery?
So
They all kind of like more that.
they're
environment.
related to each other, but one likes to grow in water and one likes to grow in soil. That's all that's
Does
different.
it taste different?
It does. Very different. Definitely different. And I have another relative to the celery as well. Now check this out. I told you about my best buddy Grant, who's a farmer who's 89 years old. When he closed his nursery of 55 years,
celery.
3 years ago, he
that garlic?
showed me this beautiful edible. See, these are not regular crabapple. These are edible. They're very soft like a real apple, but they're cute and little like this. So he gave me as my present, so I treasure it right here. I will always remember when he goes, because he's 89, going to turn 90. So he gave me this beautiful weeping crabapple, you guys. And I love it because it just hangs all these crab apples. But guess what? You know how I like to put grapevines growing up trees? So look what the grapevines did. They decided to hang from the tree all over it. Look at this. And we just finished picking those purple ones. I'll have you guys taste. Can you see some of the purple ones that are up in the tree here? We'll see them better inside. I just picked those because the birds were telling me they're ripe. You better eat them or we're going to eat them all.
Do you make grape juice?
I do, and I like to eat them and I like to freeze them because if you freeze grapes and you put them in the freezer, they're tasty little ice cubes. Oh, they're yummy.
Do you have Concord grapes or just the white
So
ones?
I had Concord over there, then I have red Catawba in here, and then I have white Himrod, and then I have Niagara whites over here. So, you guys, I'm going to tell you a little rule. You have to watch your feet in here. All little green things means something alive don't step on me. And anything where there's straw, it means there's life underneath. So don't step on the straw and don't step on anything green if you can avoid it. If you do, like I do all the time, because I'm kind of clumsy, I always say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you, okay? So we'll work really hard in here, okay? So come this way, and let's go in the kitchen garden. Because Moshe knows, but Jeff Lawton's kitchen garden, Michael Kundick's kitchen garden, James Loomis's kitchen garden does not look like mine.
What is
I
that?
decided I wanted to be a wild one because I like the food forest idea.
Jeff has his version.
I like the coolness. Does he grow some of his vegetables in there?
His own version.
I'm so glad
He's got
because
a citrus forest for one chunk.
oh fun.
Lemon and lime.
I love it because see, I don't like being in the hot sun, and when I put my vegetable plants in the hot sun, they just wilted. They hated it. They're like, it's so hot. So I first gave them a bunch of sunflowers, and they loved the shade. Then I said, how about I give you some trees? We'll just build a mini forest in my kitchen garden too. Okay, so I have fruit trees. I have canopy tree, that big guy up there, white willow, who's also pain medicine, okay, who's also growth hormone, and look at his branches. Whenever the wind breaks his branches off, I put him in this bucket, and look, I have baby willow trees, and I have growth hormone water in there to help other plants grow when I plant them. Isn't that exciting? See, I didn't lose those branches. I don't want to lose any part of him because he's valuable so many ways. And then I have this beautiful mulberry bush right here. And I have fruit trees, and I have fig trees right here. Now don't pick the figs, okay? We got to show everybody what's possible because they're so
I didn't know
beautiful.
there was figs in Utah.
Yes, but they come from Italy in the Alps where it snows and gets really cold. Just like I have a Nanking cherry in here that grows in China, the best cherries and the earliest, in the hills where it snows. So because we have a hardy cold climate in the winter here, but what's difficult is we have to test out. Yeah, you can live in cold climate, but can you live in hot, dry desert in the summer where it's really hot? That's the real test, okay? Hardy means nothing. It means, yeah, you can survive during cold winter and then you can grow in the spring. But can you survive the heat?